11 News. Coverage you can count on.
Did you get your $600 stimulus payment yet? The Treasury Department started putting money in bank accounts last night, and they're starting to send out checks in the mail today. Good afternoon. I'm Catherine Amenta, and we start this afternoon with making sure your stimulus money, whenever it arrives, is safe. Channel 11's Mike Holden spoke with experts to make sure you don't get cheated.
Stimulus checks are officially on the way. They're coming at you through your what am I saying? 3, 2, 1. Stimulus checks are officially on the way. They're coming at you in the form of a direct deposit through your banking website just like this, or in paper form through the mail. But experts are warning that there are scammers out there after your most personal information.
Hi, this is an exclusive announcement.
The Better Business Bureau and Federal Trade Commission are sounding the alarm. They're laser focused on scammers who are using this second round of $600 stimulus checks to target you. This go around, they're after your most personal details and cash with elaborate schemes online, spoofing websites and pressuring you directly over the phone. The FTC warns the IRS and government officials will never ask you to pay anything up front to get your stimulus check. The IRS will never call, email, text, or use social media to get your personal information, so simply ignore it. And finally, there is no way to expedite the process of getting your check faster. If someone says they can do that, they're lying.
I've been doing this for 36 years, and no matter the disaster, whether it's a tsunami, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's a tornado, these con artists take advantage of these situations.
And the Better Business Bureau stresses that scammers will never contact you by phone or through email, only through direct mail, so don't answer those phone calls from numbers you may not know. In the meantime, we're breaking down the elaborate side of this scam, including these people spoofing websites, what you need to look out for, and the #1 mistake you could be making for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting this afternoon, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Mike, thank you so much. As we take a live look at the Capitol, the Senate plans to consider a Republican bill this afternoon that would increase COVID relief payments to $2,000. But Democrats don't like what else is in the bill. Let me lay it out for you. It also repeals liability protection for big tech companies and creates a bipartisan election commission. And those are two things the president has called for over the last several weeks. Senate Democrats want to vote on the bill passed by the House on Monday that just has COVID relief money in it. The Senate goes back in session at 3 p.m. Be sure to look for the latest tonight at 5. New at noon, the Allegheny County Health Department just updating its COVID numbers. In the last 24 hours, there were 525 new cases. New cases range in age from 3 years to 99 years old. Median age, 51. There were 47 new deaths. That's dating back to November 22nd. Of those, one person was in their 40s and 2 were in their 50s. Coming up at 1 this afternoon, Governor Wolf and Health Secretary Dr. Rachel Levine will be giving us an update on what the state is doing to manage the spread going into New Year's. Channel 11 will stream that news conference for you live, so you can watch it on any mobile device or at WPXI.com. Also developing at noon, the UK will soon have a second COVID vaccine. Overnight, they authorized the AstraZeneca vaccine. Tests show it's about 70% effective, which is less than the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. But it doesn't need to be kept at ultra-cold temperatures like the Pfizer vaccine. Also, according to NBC News, the U.S. government has ordered 300 million doses of the vaccine, but so far has not been submitted for FDA approval by AstraZeneca. Showers moving back in today. To the forecast now, Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Jessica Faith joins us.
Yes, and we're looking good right now. So with that rain chance peaking later this afternoon and toward the evening hours, you're going to want to enjoy the dry conditions that we see right now viewing from our tower cam. This is Pittsburgh. We even see rays of sunshine coming in, but we do have a good bit of cloud cover out right now. This morning we were very cold. Temperatures have improved nicely just in the past few hours, in the upper 40s, lower 50s in some spots. Coming up in about 15 minutes, I'm going to show you the next few hours and what you can expect for the rest of your day.
See you soon, Jessica. Also developing at noon, an extradition hearing we know is now planned for next week for this man, Kobe Francis. He is still behind bars in West Virginia. Police say he fled there after shooting a McKeesport police officer. Channel 11 has been following this story since it broke earlier this month, and here's where things stand right now. Around 6 o'clock last night, police in West Virginia found the 22-year-old at an apartment complex near Clarksburg. U.S. Marshals made the arrest without any issues. A lot of different agencies helped out with this. They had the local departments, even the ATF and the FBI. And this is where it all began, right here on your screen. This is surveillance video from outside the McKeesport police station. Police say you can see Francis shooting at Officer Jerry Athens and then taking off. Athens was hit 3 times, but is doing okay. Police have been looking for Francis ever since. And yesterday morning, Allegheny County Police say they got a tip that he was in West Virginia, and they contacted U.S. Marshals.
They determined that Mr. Francis was inside an apartment at the complex. At approximately 6:07 p.m., the West Virginia State Police CERT team entered the apartment and apprehended Mr. Francis without incident.
And in the course of looking for him, officers also charged 4 people with helping Francis hide. One of those people is his 19-year-old brother. Police say they were all seen on surveillance video with Francis while he was still in handcuffs. They're facing hindering charges. We will certainly continue following this story as it develops. Look for updates on WPXI.com and our news app. What started out as a simple meeting in a church parking lot ended with one man getting shot and 3 other people facing charges. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond shows us what happened.
On Monday night around 8:15, police showed up here to Unity Presbyterian Church. It's right off of Green Tree Road. Several people who live in this area called 911 because they say that they heard gunshots. When officers showed up here, they say that they found a man bleeding profusely. The 21-year-old victim told police he showed up to this church to meet a girl. While waiting in the church parking lot, he says a man came up to his car, pointed a gun at him, and said, "Yeah, you're going to give me your car." The victim says he reached for his gun, and as he was getting out of his car, he got shot in the arm and back. After that, the suspects took off. The victim was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. People who live in this area say they've seen a lot of law enforcement over the last several days.
Scary. Back where we live, it's totally black back there. There's no street lights, so when we talked to the police, he asked us to inform all of our neighbors down there to please flick all the lights on, give them a hand, get any lights going down there that they could see. And they were looking for any suspects that could have ran down into the woods.
Police arrested 21-year-old Scotty Harris, 20-year-old Jameer Blackwell, and 22-year-old Saquon Harris. All 3 suspects face a handful of charges, including attempted homicide and robbery of a motor vehicle. I spoke to the pastor of Unity Presbyterian Church tonight at 5. Hear his message he has for the suspects, plus what a dating app has to do with this case. Reporting in Green Tree, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
Alyssa, thank you. We will be watching tonight. The DOJ says there will be no federal charges against the 2 officers involved in the shooting death of 12-year-old Tamir Rice. A Cleveland police officer shot and killed Rice in 2014. Police said the boy was playing with a toy gun outside a recreation center when the officer opened fire. The officer was still being trained at the time. He said he thought the child was playing with a real gun. In 2015, a grand jury chose not to indict the officers. Now, the city of Cleveland settled a wrongful death lawsuit with Rice's family in 2016 for $6 million. A police report obtained by NBC News overnight may shed new light on the Christmas bombing in Nashville. Police were apparently warned over a year ago that Anthony Warner was using that RV to make explosives. Here's NBC's Morgan Chesky.
Stunning new details about the man police say planned and executed the Nashville bombing. In a police report obtained by NBC News, a woman described as Anthony Quinn Warner's girlfriend told authorities in August 2019 that he was building bombs in his now infamous RV. At the time, the girlfriend's attorney telling police even more, saying Warner frequently talks about the military and bomb making, adding he knows what he is doing and is capable of making a bomb. Police then went to Warner's home where they spotted his RV. The report says officers made several unsuccessful attempts to speak with him, but witnessed no evidence of a crime. The FBI also looked into Warner and came up empty. No additional information on Warner came in until his bomb went off. Survivors returned home for the first time after the blast Christmas morning.
I didn't realize how close that RV was parked to our front door. I leave that front door with my kids in our stroller every day.
Noelle Rasmussen, who shot this video after the blast, still can't believe how close it was to her home. She and her husband Jeffrey, some of the first escorted by FBI back to the blast zone. The two only able to look at their home from a safe distance due to fears of a collapse. Their Christmas stockings still hanging inside.
Yeah, that broke my heart.
It was a hard moment.
Also returning, business owners who have struggled to survive the pandemic but couldn't escape an explosion. The blast caught on surveillance camera, completely shattering Leor Rose's tattoo shop.
I'm just trying to survive, you know, it's one hit after another.
Now, as investigators scour the blast site to figure out what Warner's bomb was made of, those who call these shattered blocks home, trying to stay positive.
We're out and we're alive, and every morning I'm just kissing my kids, and that is all I care about.
Gives you chills. And we also learned that one of the Nashville police officers who helped evacuate people before the bombing has ties to Western PA. A lot to be proud of here. Her name is Brenna Hosey, and she grew up in Johnstown, went to Cal U. Officer Hosey was the second officer from the Nashville Police Department to arrive before that bomb went off, and she jumped right in and started clearing apartment buildings floor by floor before it went off. Pushed to the limit, the nearly impossible choices the pandemic is forcing a local family to make. And the local community where feeding deer could end up costing you your hard-earned cash. Welcome back on this Wednesday afternoon. We are waiting to find out whether Americans will get bigger stimulus payments. And Channel 11's Michelle Newell spoke to a local father who says that he has been forced to make some really tough decisions just to get by.
people are going to have to choose between heat in a home or groceries in a home. And we shouldn't be in that position at all.
Edward Miller is doing all he can to provide for his family.
I love working. I love feeling like I'm contributing more than just waiting and standing by to see what a virus would do that I can't see. So, yes, if someone offered me employment, I would definitely jump on it the first shot I got.
But Miller is in a tough spot. He had to leave his job early on into the pandemic due to underlying health conditions. And until he finds a job that allows him to work from home, he has to make do with the little amount of unemployment he receives.
Now, it's like we got behind on rent, and then we had to get out of that hole. Then our kids, they needed stuff, and one of my children has autism, so she has pretty expensive needs. And unfortunately, we was put in a situation between choosing our home or giving our daughter everything that she needed.
Miller feels like the government has failed him.
What do you think would be enough for you?
So, yeah, $2,000 would actually be a lot better than $600, because, I mean, $600, let's be honest, that's kind of an insult to the American people. My rent's $900. So $600 doesn't even cover my rent.
We spoke with Mayor Nicole Nesby of Duquesne about the stimulus checks.
It's definitely a start, but it's not enough funding.
Mayor Nesby is tired of seeing so many families and business owners struggle.
We were hoping for direct funding for municipalities.
In addition to business shutting down, including the only grocery store in town, Mayor Nesby says families are dealing with water shutoff notices.
There were several individuals that water was terminated during the pandemic. At any point in time, council can say, we do not want to terminate the water. And that is exactly what needs to be done.
I'm Michelle Newell for Channel 11 News.
And more details now. Take Action Mon Valley and other organizations are helping residents with their water bills and other needs. Mayor Nesby told Channel 11 she's submitted a proposal to see if the city of Duquesne can qualify for a water residential assistance program. She also said the local food bank is helping, and she will continue fighting for funding. Pittsburgh Public Schools Food Service Center and warehouse will be closed until tomorrow. The district made that decision after 2 employees tested positive for COVID. The facility has been cleaned, and the impacted employees have not been inside since December 23rd. Winter storm advisories are expiring this afternoon in Chicago. Look at this. They got pounded by snow, sleet, and freezing rain. The kiddos, of course, loved it, making the most of things by heading out with their sleds. Now, Milwaukee was also hit hard with their first big snowfall of the season. Look at that car spinning out. This is video from last night. Milwaukee is also under a winter weather advisory today. A little closer to home, Cranberry Township is looking for snow angels. That's where you can volunteer to shovel your neighbor's sidewalk or driveway. The township will pair you up with somebody who needs that help. And if you're interested in doing it, we have the link to sign up at WPXI.com.
Your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
Happy Wednesday, the last Wednesday of this year, and we're on a pretty mild note. Temperatures feeling pretty good this midday and even into the afternoon. We do have the clouds out every now and then. You may see a peak of sunshine looking good during the daylight hours. Now, as we go later into the nighttime hours or closer to sunset, we're increasing our rain chances across the area. So within the next hour, still looking good, still looking quiet, but we're watching that rain move into our area, increasing our rain chances. Now, storm tracker showing that rain moving in just a few hours earlier than what it showed this morning. So this is an important update, especially if you're around Franklin, Newcastle, Beaver, even Butler, possibly around 3 o'clock. If you're going to be out and about, you could be affected by showers, so just keep that in mind. Showers will continue to increase across our area toward the southeast and really filling up our landscape later tonight. Some steady rain, heavy at times tonight. And that colder air with that cold front is going to give us a chance for some snow showers, little to no accumulation, but could make things pretty interesting if you're headed out and about early tomorrow morning. So that's going to be throughout the overnight hours. A lot of us will still be asleep during this time. time. But some of us may be out and about on the roadway. So around 4:30, Franklin, Newcastle, the snow showers would have moved through your area, still dealing with some snow showers and icy conditions. Pittsburgh, Butler, Katanning, Greensburg, Indiana, Washington. As we go closer to sunrise, most of the area kind of drying out, not really anything falling from the sky except mostly south of Pittsburgh. So we're talking Washington, Uniontown, Morgantown, and we're going to continue to clear up throughout the morning hours. So this is not an all-day event, but could make your morning commute kind of messy, so just keep that in mind. Looking good into the afternoon and evening hours, but that's not the end of the story. As we bring in the new year, we're looking good, but we increase rain chances once again to Friday morning, which is New Year's Day, bringing that widespread rain back into the area as we go throughout the morning and afternoon. Could even have a bit of a wintry mix, maybe some icy conditions, some freezing rain possible, but overall bringing in some warmer air from the south on Friday with some heavier downpours at times. So Friday really looks like a messy day after sunrise. So just tracking all of the changes coming our way, because we're looking at pretty active end of the work week into the weekend. But notice the temperatures in the 40s and 50s for the highs, above average. We do have rather cool mornings, so have your umbrella tonight, tomorrow morning, through the day on Friday. Even this weekend, we do have chances for showers and even a wintry mix on Sunday. In the next half hour, I will talk about rain totals, how much rain we're going to get, the timeline of the gustiest winds for today, and that's all coming up in the next half hour.
Right, a lot on the way. Jessica, thank you. A Pittsburgh park tax takes effect on Monday. And we first told you about this yesterday. The half-mil property tax will be used to improve more than 160 parks in the city, including those in the city's poorest neighborhoods. The average property owner will pay an extra $50. This was not a unanimous decision.
They're getting more use now than they ever have. And it's because it's the only thing there is for people to do. And a lot of our parks and a lot of our neighborhoods are in really horrible condition.
The tax was approved by the voters in 2019, but it required the council's approval to start collecting it. Time saver or environmental danger? Why the federal government is being sued for helping you wash your dishes faster. And the list of the hottest grocery store items is out for 2020. How the pandemic changed our shopping lists. real estate agency is buying a block of Penn Avenue in East Liberty. The property includes the Kelly Strayhorn Theater. McKnight Maestern is buying the block across the street from East Liberty Presbyterian Church and just a few blocks away from Target. They told our Business Times partners that they plan to preserve the historic parts of those properties. The Pennsylvania natural gas industry is ending 2020 with fewer drilling rigs. Right now, an average of 18 rigs are working in the state. That's down from 25 last year. One analyst told our partners at the Business Times that the pandemic was like a smack in the gut for them, and it led to more production than the market needed. Pennsylvania is the country's second largest state for natural gas production. And more details. Last week we told you when Pitt got $2.5 million to study potential health effects of fracking. One study will look at possible links to childhood cancers found in children in Fayette, Greene, Washington, and Westmoreland counties. This is a fun one. The beer app Untapped just named its top 10 beers of 2020, and BrewDog taking 2 of the top spots. BrewDog opening a Pittsburgh location this summer in East Liberty. The brewery's Punk IPA took 2nd place on the Untapped list, and Elvis Juice, I'm interested in that one. Elvis Juice coming in 6th. The Guinness Drought took 1st place for the 3rd year in a row. Untapped creates the list by global check-ins from app users throughout the year. More jobs could be headed to Monroeville thanks to a $1 million grant. The Redevelopment Assistance Capital Grant was awarded to PropCo. The money will be used to renovate the Pittsburgh supercomputer building in the former Westinghouse headquarters. The project could bring jobs to the area.
When things go down, when push comes to shove, we all rally around.
Made great by circumstance. Coming up, just a few of the everyday heroes who helped millions make it through this year. And a cutting-edge treatment for COVID that's being used right here at home. Up next. Welcome back. Your time just about 12:30 on this Wednesday afternoon as we take a live look at Pittsburgh International. The TSA says more than 1 million people went through airport security checkpoints around the country for the 4th day in a row yesterday. Also, checkpoint traffic exceeded 1 million people in 8 of the last 12 days. Sunday was the single busiest day of the pandemic, and that is when nearly 1.3 million people got screened. The spike in pandemic-era travel raises some public health concerns. The lowest point in the pandemic was April 14th. About 87,000 people flew in the U.S. that day. This week is typically the busiest for local bars and restaurants, but this year, of course, they are closed in Pennsylvania. Businesses told us that now they're just focusing on reopening next week and praying there are not any last-minute changes from the governor.
We can't go on like this forever.
The governor's ban on indoor dining is expected to expire on Monday. As of right now, state leaders say they have no plans to extend it, but they say they will closely monitor any post-holiday COVID surges.
It's always a worry, but, you know, we move forward. We're positive. We're here to serve the community. Everyone's been fantastic with takeout and delivery.
Yes, support your local businesses. And more details now. Several restaurants and bars have actually been defying state orders. Last week, state inspectors closed 33 more restaurants, including 2 in Washington County and 1 in Westmoreland County. If you would like to look at that full list, we have it for you at WPXI.com. Washington Health System has started treating COVID patients with a cutting-edge antibody drug. Officials say it can help reduce the severity of the virus and keep people out of the hospital. That is wonderful news. And the therapies were granted emergency use authorization back in November. Hospital officials say it's just another tool in their toolbox. They treated 3 patients on Christmas Eve with it. It is for mild and moderately sick patients. Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Jessica Faith joins us now, and there is a lot on your maps in 5 days, Jessica.
There's a lot going on as we wrap up this year going into the next. We're getting very active. Now, notice we're quiet. Live storm tracker Doppler 11 radar not picking up anything in our area. But look off toward the west, even around Akron. That will be swinging our way as we go later into this afternoon, into this evening. Widespread showers tonight and even a chance for snow showers as we go into the overnight hours and into early tomorrow morning. Temperatures are pretty nice right now. We're at 48 in Pittsburgh, already well above average for this time of year, 50 in Greensburg. I'm going to talk more about temperatures and how they could drop with the cold front, windy conditions today, and taking a look at rain totals with this system. That's all coming up in about 15 minutes.
We'll see you there, Jessica. The counting is complete, and Pittsburgh and Allegheny counties say this year's census was a success. They say 72.2% of residents responded, 36 communities topping 80%. The national census happens every 10 years and impacts congressional district boundaries and federal aid. There is a lawsuit this afternoon in Ohio that really people across the country are watching closely, and it deals with schools and their role in stopping bullying. Gabriel Tay started getting bullied in the 1st grade, and when he was 8 years old, his parents say he took his own life. Well, this week, a federal appeals court ruled that Tay's lawsuit established reckless behavior on the part of the school, going as far as to say they failed to report child abuse. The lawsuit could play a big role in how schools respond to bullying in the future. Pennsylvania, as we know, created the Safe to Say hotline in 2019 as a way for students to get help. Last school year, they received more than 3,600 tips about bullying and 2,500 tips about suicidal thoughts. Some Pennsylvanians say they're trying to balance financial hardship and paying for medical marijuana. According to advocate group Normal, some people can be spending up to $1,500 a month to get their treatment. The health department has about 100 dispensaries across the state. Prices do vary depending on the products. We haven't talked too much about the flu this season, and that's a very good thing. Experts say, though, keep your guard up. The state's website says there were only 1,269 cases of the flu so far this season, and they call that activity low. The chair of emergency medicine at UPMC thinks masks and social distancing are keeping those numbers down, but he also told our trip partners that we all need to be careful because we usually get a surge in January from the holidays, and the peak comes closer to February. There is a lot we want to forget about 2020. But there was also a lot of inspiration that we should be holding on to. Jay Gray reminds us of the heroes in our times of need.
Empty cities, jobs and lives put on hold. Haunting images from the start of the pandemic, with the numbers and lockdowns growing across the country as the deadly virus spreads. For more than 250,000 families, the heartache will never go away.
I don't really know what else to say. I lost the love of my life. You know, I'll never get over it. I'll never know how to get past it.
COVID-19 claiming more lives than any modern war. An unseen, unheard enemy targeting moms and dads, sons and daughters. Many forced to die alone. Families pushed apart at a time when they are desperate to be together. In a nation desperate for any sign of hope. The first signals were sirens, a promise that help was on the way.
It's taking a huge toll, but we're getting through. And we will still be here. We will always keep coming back.
An unwavering commitment shared by tens of thousands of doctors and nurses.
It's been hard. It's been overwhelming. It's been scary.
Medical teams fighting together, putting their lives and families at risk.
Those are my brothers and sisters there. All of them, we're all together trying to work towards one goal.
Saving hundreds of thousands of lives. Communities reaching out any way they can to say thank you.
I think it's just, a way that everybody can get involved and do something and show some solidarity right now. There's hope and there's something that we can all do.
Delivering food to frontline workers or a place to sleep for medics fearful of taking the virus home.
Thank you for allowing me to be part of my family.
I cannot express how much this means to my family and myself.
The sickness revealing strength in places most had never looked before.
Well, I don't consider myself a hero.
But those who work in groceries and markets, along with so many other essential frontline workers, are heroes.
We take it out to our hearts. The city needs us to be here and to get the job done, and we're very proud of it.
When the country called, when all this happened, when it all kicked off, we as drivers, we were there.
It absolutely is a special mission every morning, knowing that I'm coming and making a contribution to keeping our city running.
I'd rather save lives than sit at home.
Strong, selfless fighters who refuse to give in or give up.
I'm not giving up because we want the best for our students.
This is what America's all about. When things go down, when push comes to shove, we all rally around to what's going on.
We rally around our heroes. Jay Gray, NBC News.
So happy we're taking the time to remember the positives of 2022 because those stories do exist. All right, back to 2020. These little devices are flying off the shelves at pharmacies because of COVID, but not everybody needs one. So coming up, how that could hurt people who really do need one next. Welcome back on this Wednesday afternoon. New Year's right around the corner, and the CDC says the safest way we can celebrate tomorrow night is at home with the people we live with, or virtually. The agency says travel and gatherings with those who don't live with you can increase your chances of getting and spreading COVID. If you are hosting a party, they advise keeping it outdoors if possible. And if you are doing it indoors, open the windows or maybe a sliding door, clean and disinfect surfaces. Have your guests bring their own food and their plates, cups, and utensils, and limit the number of guests. And they also say keep the music volume low so guests don't have to shout, which may lessen airborne particles.
So I kind of just barged in the house and was like, hey, I think your house is on fire.
So imagine sitting down to eat Thanksgiving dinner and you hear that from a perfect stranger. How this man's quick thinking, though, likely saved 2 lives.
And we have a lot of changes coming in just the next 24 hours. Coming up, I have details about changes in our winds, temperatures, and rain chances, so stick with us.
Welcome back. If eating healthier is one of your New Year's resolutions, we were just talking about resolutions in here. Take note, the USDA came out with new dietary guidelines for Americans. And they broke it down to every life stage, from infants to toddlers to older adults. And this is the first time the guidelines included guidance for babies and toddlers. It also includes guidelines for women who are pregnant or breastfeeding. People are also advised to follow naturally a healthy dietary pattern that includes vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean meat, poultry, seafood, and nuts. You know what to do. Also, you should limit added sugars, saturated fats, sodium, and alcohol. The guidelines are updated every 5 years. Oat milk, baker's yeast, and Impossible Burgers. Those were the foods that saw the biggest rise in sales this year at the grocery store. Here's the breakdown from Nielsen. Sales of oat milk jumped 200%, while meat alternatives more than doubled, and the sale of yeast soaring 98% as more of us started baking our own bread during the pandemic. Some pharmacies are seeing an uptick in people buying those little pulse ox devices for the tip of your finger. It measures the level of oxygen in your blood. Channel 11's Jennifer Tomazik takes a look at who should have one in their homes.
And then my oxygen level is anywhere from 98 to 100, which is good.
Johnny Meyer monitors his oxygen saturation using a pulse oximeter. He owns My Community Pharmacy and says that he's been selling the small devices for years, maybe one every few months. But when the pandemic started, that changed.
Since March, I'd sold probably around 5,500 of them. Yeah. And not just to the general public of our community here in Wellington, but also, like I mentioned, pharmacies all across the country.
Because COVID-19 affects the respiratory system, customers started buying pulse oximeters. But who should be using one?
If you are a patient who has a chronic lung condition and need to check oxygen saturation on a regular basis because you are susceptible to requiring oxygen, or patients who go in the hospital frequently for lung conditions, then you should have a pulse oximeter.
Dr. Luis Pena Hernandez is a pulmonologist.
And if you are a person who was recently diagnosed, for example, with COVID-19 or with pneumonia and are recommended to be at home, it might be useful to check your oxygen saturation in that particular circumstance, because if it runs low, it might be an indication to seek medical attention.
He says it's best to ask your doctor if you need one.
Now I'm down to like about 250, and once I run out, I probably won't be able to replenish till March of next year.
Jennifer Tomazik, Channel 11 News.
There are new rules to let our dishwashers run faster, but not everybody is on board. The Department of Energy just approved that the washers can finish a load in less than an hour. But environmental activists say that could lead to higher utility bills and more pollution. So they are suing the Department of Energy.
Your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
We have a lot of energy to our west with our next system. I've been talking about it all morning, and we will be increasing our rain chances later this afternoon from the northwest toward the southeast. You can see is inching closer and closer to Pittsburgh. The showers off affecting portions of the Midwest down into portions of the south as well. Texas has really been getting the rain all morning farther toward the south, and we're still quiet here, but increasing our rain chances significantly as we go later into this afternoon and this evening, especially tonight. Tonight, many of you may be inside hearing the pitter-patter of raindrops as you go to bed and throughout the nighttime hours, and even seeing some snow showers as we go into early tomorrow morning. But as far as rain is concerned, the rain will be mostly light and through tomorrow morning, getting less than a half an inch for a lot of places, and even getting around a half inch, a little bit more, but really not expecting a whole lot. Temperatures have been on the warmer side this midday, 48 degrees, which is about 10 degrees above average for the high. Winds coming out of the south-southwest at 15 miles per hour. Now we're on the warmer side of things. We have had that warm air to filter into the area this midday. With that system, we're knocking temperatures back down. So tonight, dropping temperatures into the 30s around 1:30. Getting near freezing around 4:30, and this is when we start to see a wintry mix and even some snow showers across most of the area. The snow showers continue, but decrease in coverage closer to sunrise, and temperatures will be right around freezing. Along with the rain coming, the sinking temperatures with our next system, we're looking at pretty breezy conditions with winds gusting around 20 to even 25 miles per hour. Even some model projections had closer to 30-mile-per-hour winds, and they're already kind of elevated right now. I just showed you a few minutes ago winds were out of the south-southwest at 15 miles per hour, but again gusting higher than that. So there are a lot of things going on for today, even into tomorrow. Temperatures drop overnight into the 30s, 32 degrees, so closer to freezing, which could support some snow showers early in the morning. Now, the snow won't be an all-day event. Really wrapping up around sunrise, and most of your day, nothing will be falling from the sky. We'll have the clouds sticking around, though, with the cooler temperatures. Now, there will be another system New Year's Day on Friday, increasing our rain chances from the south on Friday and also giving us warmer temperatures from the south. That will be most of the day's steady rain kind of event as we wrap up the work week. Looking at rain chances this weekend with cool temperatures in the 40s and 30s.
Don't feed the deer. Bradford Woods is making it illegal for residents to feed deer or animals in general. Well, no, the deer. The borough is north of the city, and they're trying to deal with the growing deer population. The ban looks to cut down on the number of car crashes, save the landscaping, and limit the spread of Lyme disease. Now, if you're caught feeding deer, you can be fined at least $25. Now, here's local Steals and Deals' Lisa Robertson.
What I have today is going to make a big difference in how you feel about yourself, and that's because it gives you a beautiful smile. Super Smile is a line that was created by Dr. Erwin Smigel. Now his wife and daughter, Lucia and Belanca, are the passionate people at the forefront of the brand.
My husband was the one who developed tooth bonding.
My dad was a legend in dentistry, and growing up, my brother and I really didn't know that at first until we got older and we would start going with him to dental conventions. We would go over to different booths and they would fill our bags up with toys and presents and things because we were with Dr. Smigel. My father was doing bonding on a lot of his celebrity patients and his regular patients.
And with bonding, it used to stain very, very readily.
So he and my mom, who was the CEO and is the CEO of the company, decided to form together with a chemist and make a toothpaste that would work, be gentle, be safe, be effective, and would whiten the teeth. And they found an ingredient and they mixed it together with another formula, and they called that formula Calprox, which no other toothpaste in the world has. It wasn't made just to whiten the bonded teeth, it was made to whiten all the teeth, natural teeth, bonded teeth, caps, veneers, all kinds of teeth. And that's how Super Smile began, with just that one toothpaste.
Thank you so much, and I'm so glad that we're able to really let everyone know about Super Smile. And I love that we have a lot of great options for you. We have the full-size day-to-day regimen with whitening and really healthy teeth. We have that amazing proprietary technology and a sonic toothbrush. So many great ways to have a clean, healthy, beautiful white smile. This is all 20% off on localsteals.com, and it's one of the best things you can do for yourself to make sure that you always make your best first impression with an absolutely beautiful smile.
Welcome back. Well, imagine getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner when a stranger runs through your house yelling, "It's on fire." That's exactly what happened to a couple in California. And look at this. He wasn't kidding. Tom Ward and Sherry George were cutting their turkey when they got a knock at the door.
We heard a knock on the front door, and then Sherry went to the front door, and a gentleman was passing by.
So I kind of just barged in the house and was like, hey, I think your house is on fire. You might want to get out.
Jeez, the couple eventually found the man on social media and they were able to thank him. He didn't even stick around. Unfortunately, the home was destroyed, but everybody is okay. Wow. Some drivers who got pulled over for minor violations in Latrobe, well, they got off easy. They didn't get a ticket. They got a gift card. The police department says they were just trying to spread a little Christmas cheer. They handed out close to 50 cards with the help of local business owners. That is all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. You can get breaking news updates anytime on our streaming apps. Just search WPXI on Apple TV, Roku, or Amazon Fire. Have a great day.